Steve Gamache here with another edition of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look product reviews, and this time we've got the Yahiko VG-10 Damascus Gyuto 240mm knife. So this line of knives has a hard core steel of VG-10 full stainless steel. Heat treat is not specified, but it should be in the 60, 61 Rockwell range is typical for this type of steel. The construction is a multi-layered stainless cladding, soft stainless cladding over the top of that harder core steel, and it's got a hammered or tsushima finish on it on either side on the blade flats, and then where it goes down and gets ground down towards the edge, that reveals the layer. So there's your Damascus or layered finish towards the edge, and it's got kind of a semi-polish to the whole blade. It does have hand chiseled kanji on it, which is really cool. So let's take a look at the dimensions and weight on this, which will vary just a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 161 grams or 5.7 ounces. Overall edge, I should say edge length is about 246, so it's a fairly long knife, 9.7 inches on the edge. Overall length about 15.6 or slightly under 400 millimeters. The spine thickness, it's pretty much, I just got 2.1 millimeters all the way across the blade, so pretty much the same thickness. And then it thins out towards the tip with the grind. Tip's not super skinny, but thin enough. If you keep it sharp, it should work pretty well for you. I wouldn't say these are laser performers, but they're good performers. The edge is ground fairly thin right down to the edge. Again, keeping these sharp will help. They've got a fair amount of stiffness to the blade. The height is 50 millimeters, so it's pretty generous on the height back of the blade. The necks are fairly wide on these, but you still have lots of clearance because of the height, so no problem there. Handles, nothing fancy. It's just good basic octagonal hoe wood with buffalo horn ferrule. Actually, both these handles on the 240 and 210 have been very, very smooth right here, which is actually a little unusual. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of a jump there. But they've been really nicely finished. Nice tight handle install. So, you know, well done on that. Let's see what else. Balance point. Since the handle's quite light, that's going to bring the balance point forward a fair amount. So there's your balance point. In terms of a pinch grip, you know, my pinch is back here. So what that's going to do is give you a weight forward balance bias, and it's going to give you, you know, a knife that feels a little heavier than it is with some mass, 5.7. FYI, they do have basically the exact same blade in a Western or Yo handled version, which will be a completely different balance point and a little bit of different feel, but it's got the full tang Western handle, same performance, same type of, basically the same blade in a different package. So circumference on this handle is about 76 millimeters or 3 inches where the two materials meet. Pretty standard size. It also is basically the same width as the neck, so what that does is give you a nice continuous flow into a pinch grip there, and it's easy to do a pinch grip with this. Let's see, let's look at it closely. So you've got, again, a kind of a semi-polish to the entire blade. It's got a lot going on aesthetically, so it's definitely a looker. It's a attention getter in the kitchen. The hammering on the side should give you a little bit of food release advantage as well. Hand chiseled kanji. It's a nice touch on this blade. And you can see the layers peeking through as it gets ground down. There's your edge bevel shining out. I'd say these are about a 6 out of 10 on the sharpness scale out of the box. It's not a high grit edge, but it's a nicely formed bevel, and it's pretty sharp out of the box. You can definitely get it sharper, but they've done a pretty nice job with a good starter edge on these. So here's the left side of the blade. They've done a little bit of rounding on the spine just at the edge. It's not a lot, but a little bit of polish to it, enough to take the edge off, and then also in the heel, the choil back here and the neck. You could do a little more if you wanted, but it's not uncomfortable. They've done a little bit of work to it, but you could definitely up that polish and rounding if you wanted to. No problem, in probably 10-15 minutes worth of work with some sandpaper strips. What else? I think that's about it for now. Let's take a look at the cutting board profile. So you'll see these aren't especially flat. They've got kind of a gentle belly just all throughout the knife. So towards the back, you can see there's a little bit of a flattish area towards the back, but it's not much, maybe 20-25%. Just kind of a gentle low belly throughout the whole rest of the blade, and then not a huge jump in belly towards the tip, but I can get in there as far as going high on the heel for rocking. This is the kind of tip that you could probably tweak a little with sharpening and upsweep it towards the very last 2 millimeters or so to kind of give yourself more height if you wanted to keep that tip from digging in. But it'll work really nicely for rocking, push-pull cutting, glide cutting. Probably not a pure chopper. Probably chops a little bit better than the 210 because it's a little elongated and more shallow belly than the 210. But just a good all-around package, nice looking, all stainless, just good all-around knife. The again, this is available in a Western version if that's a preference for you. Basically the same knife, so you got two flavors there. So this is the Yahiko VG-10 Damascus Wa, or Japanese handled Gyuto 240mm knife.